I'm Maddie Lee, joined by Joe Masato at Chesapeake Energy Arena, where the Thunder has just lost to the Pacers 107-100. Obviously, no loss is great, but this was a big turnaround from the really awful blowout that we saw in Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, they lost by 26 points, I think, in Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago. So this was definitely a change, and I felt like, they corrected some of the mistakes that they allowed to happen. They just didn't have much energy in that game. This game was totally different. I mean, the Thunder had a chance with 17 seconds left to tie the game, so this one was really close throughout.
Yeah, they really battled through all four quarters, including the third, where they were outscored, but only by a couple points. And then really down to those last few plays, you had a lot of guys coming up heroically with shots, with Steven Adams had a big block, like all these different areas. Terrence Ferguson gets a really good look from the perimeter and just misses it.
Yeah, and after the game, Chris Paul said that, he would tell Terrence to keep shooting that shot. That's what they wanted. I mean, the Thunder had 2 timeouts left. They had an option to call timeout there, set something else up. Billy Donovan admitted that he thought about it, but, the look they got was probably a better look than anything you could draw up, Terrence Ferguson from the corner. So it ended up working out, the look they got. Terrence Ferguson just missed it, but another close one here at the peak.
Another close one. I tweeted out that I have literally started biting my nails, and it is true because we've had so many of these games. But we had another big performance from Steven Adams, who has been fantastic the last 3 nights, and first 2 were against a not very good Pelicans team. This was against a good Pacers team and a foe that he had not fared against very well the first time, but tonight he leads the way with 20 points and had 14 of those by halftime.
Yeah, I mean, he was dominant again, and, this one followed the theme of those 2 Pelicans games where they just force-fed him really early in this one. He started 5 of 5 from the field, finished 8 of 8, but a lot of that came even in the first quarter, and then he was big down the stretch. I mean, who knows if it goes in, but he had a really big block on Malcolm Brogdon that could have been a 3-pointer. So he was playing on both ends, and, Steven Adams isn't going to admit it, but at least from an outside perspective, he looks a lot healthier now than he did to start this season.
And Billy Donovan said as much. Danilo Gallinari said as much. He was just he wasn't able to be pushed around by a guy like Domantas Sabonis, who shouldn't have been able to in that first game, since he's not as sturdy as Steven. But Sabonis really won the matchup in that first game, and tonight Steven did.
Yeah, I mean, Adams did not get pushed around in that matchup. Sabonis, I mean, he was good, 17 points, 13 rebounds. The rebounds stood out more than the points, but the Pacers are just so balanced. I mean, Steven Adams talked about their system and how well they play within their system. They had, I think, 7 guys in double figures tonight, so it wasn't just one guy, which is exactly what Billy Donovan said before the game, that several guys on this team can hit you, and that's what happened tonight.
Yeah, well, they have another one at home
against the Timberwolves on Friday. And then head on the road for a very long road stretch. But check out our post-game video from tonight from Steven Adams, Danilo Gallinari, and Chris Paul.